everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Katherine Scott, and I'm the founder and principal of Best Writers and Editors. It's a Washington, D.C. based consultancy, and it's a client of Charles's. And I'm here to offer you some tips about how to focus attention on your small business, even during a pandemic. First, a couple words about my background. I spent almost a quarter century as a journalist writing for newspapers and wire services. I spent 9 years as a writer-editor focusing on international issues, and the last couple of years running my own business, Best Writers and Editors. So why is good writing so important these days? Well, because of COVID, since February, there's been a huge increase in people searching on Google or web searches for how to get your brain to focus. And it turns out there's actually a neuropsychological reason that it's difficult to focus. When you're faced with an immediate physical danger or perceived threat, such as COVID, your brain's prefrontal cortex actually shuts down to make room for the brain's more primitive parts, which can respond quickly to protect you. So it's actually impossible for people to focus as well as they could before COVID. So how do we get around this problem? Well, good writing is one way because it engages people and it gets them to pay attention. I'm going to give you some tips about how to write in a way that will grab readers' attention and get your business noticed. I'm going to use an unlikely example of good writing. It's a layoff memo written by the CEO of Airbnb last spring when he had to announce massive layoffs because of the economic contraction because of the pandemic. So it's written in a very graceful and effective way. And here's how the CEO did it. His name is Brian Chesky. First, he offers some personal details, which always engages people. He writes, "This is the 7th time talking to you from my house." So even CEOs were stuck at home last spring. He also goes straight to the point. A lot of times, if there's a layoff memo, you read about it in the 9th or 10th paragraph. Here, you get to it right up front. And so Chesky gets to the point. He uses plain language. He also introduces some nice emotion wrapped around the company's mission statement. Listen to what he writes. "Today, I must confirm that we are reducing the size of the Airbnb workforce. For a company like us, whose mission is centered around belonging, this is incredibly difficult to confront, and it will be even harder for those who have to leave Airbnb." Chesky also provides a good summary of the difficult economic conditions that led to this decision to lay off. And he uses some unusual words. This is a great technique to get people's attention. Think about it. If you read a cliche, which you've read 1,000 times before, your brain basically goes to sleep. It doesn't have to think because it knows what this means. However, if you encounter an unusual word, you have to stop. You have to think about it for a minute, maybe look it up, pay attention, and that gets you focused on what you're reading. So here, Chesky uses harrowing and comprise. He also provides some specific details of the numbers of the layoffs, which is also interesting for people. I'll read what he wrote. "We are collectively living through the most harrowing crisis of our lifetime, and as it began to unfold, global travel came to a standstill. Airbnb's business has been hit hard, with revenue this year forecasted to be less than half of what we earned in 2019. Nearly 1,900 teammates will have to leave Airbnb, comprising around 25% of our company." Chesky also offers some thought leadership about how travel might look after COVID. This allows us to see that he's well informed and he's thinking ahead. Here's what he writes. "Travel in this new world will look different, and we need to evolve Airbnb accordingly. People will want options that are closer to home, safer, and more affordable. But people will also yearn for something that feels like it's been taken away from them: human connection, This crisis has sharpened our focus to get back to our roots, back to the basics, back to what is truly special about Airbnb, everyday people who host their homes and offer experiences. We also get a few internal details about the management decision behind the layoffs. This is always intriguing for people because everyone likes to know the inside gossip. We get some of the guiding principles of the decisions. And finally, Chesky closes with some really nice emotion. And anytime you use emotion effectively, you engage people and this gets their attention. Listen to what he writes. When we started Airbnb, our original tagline was travel like a human. The human part was always more important than the travel part. What we are about is belonging, and at the center of belonging is love. So I've given you a few ideas to work with. Let's practice them now on a piece of writing that's critical for any small business, your mission statement. You may have already updated it because of COVID. If you haven't, this is a great time to try. If you have updated it, you can rework it a bit. I'd like you to take 10 minutes and fine tune your mission statement using at least one of the 7 techniques that I've explained. After that, we'll workshop some of the rewritten statements. Charles, can you please give the folks here a description of what belongs in a mission statement?
Sure. Right here, you can see a brief definition. An organization's mission statement is a concise statement that frames the organization's value propositions and possibly also its culture, values, and ethics as they relate to customers. You can also apply this to other aspects of the business, including stakeholders, vendors, and employees. Some of you may not have written this mission statement yet. This is a good opportunity to start one or to write one. And for those of you who already have a business and have a mission statement, this is a good opportunity to also revise it or maybe tweak it, especially in the age of COVID right now. We may want to alter that a little bit. So we're going to give everybody about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, depending upon time. And we'll go ahead and let everybody grab a piece of paper, a pen, and we'll give an opportunity for a few of you to share your mission statements with us so that we can discuss them and also provide some tips and helpful edits. Katherine?
Okay. Thank you, Charles. So in summary, 10 minutes, write or rewrite your mission statement. Use at least one of these 7 tips that I just reviewed.
And we'll let you know when the time is done. It's according to my clock here, which may be a little bit off. It's 12:10, so about 12:17 or 18 will give you a heads up that we're getting close to the time, and then at 12:20 we will continue on and discuss the mission statements that you've put together. Also, I should mention, if you have any questions while you're working on it, feel free to enter it in the chat area and we'll address it. For some of you who just joined us, we're having everybody work on their mission statement. Here are the summary of the tips that we discussed so far, and encourage everyone to utilize these tips in either revising or coming up with their mission statement. This is a time check. We have about 3 minutes left. If most of you feel that you've already completed the assignment, just let us know with a thumbs up from the reaction, or just say okay in the chat area. Getting a few okays here. And looks like we have a couple even volunteers already, Catherine.
Great.
So we'll give everybody about another minute. Tell you what, I guess we can go ahead and continue on, Catherine. We have a couple volunteers already. Sharifa indicated she would like to share her mission statement. Catherine, would you like to use the chat, or would you just want to unmute? Have everybody unmute.
I think the chat would be helpful so I can see what's written.
Great. So Sharif, if you could put your mission statement in the chat area, that'd be great. And I believe we also had Gabrielle. Gabrielle will address yours right after Sharifa's. Here we go.
Okay. Sharifa, do you want to read this out loud?
Sure, happy to. So the name of my business is Leveled Up Entrepreneur. The mission statement is Leveled Up Entrepreneur helps online entrepreneurs and small businesses transitioning to remote workspaces manage their day-to-day operations by systemizing and automating their business in order to grow and improve client experience, freeing you up to tackle CEO level tasks.
Okay, thanks. This is concise. This is good. The first thing I see here is during these difficult days, freeing you up. That's what grabs me. Wait a minute, someone's going to take something off my plate, you know? I would say I would start with Leveled Up Entrepreneur frees you up to tackle your CEO level tasks. We can help you with, and then you go into the list of, let's see also if we can get some little more interesting words than help and transition. Transition is not bad. Trying to think of one. You could say assist in rather than help. I mean, just something a little fancier.
Okay.
And transition works in this case. Manage is fine. Automating is fine. I would not honestly use an ampersand here. I would spell it out because this is a sort of a formal kind of thing.
Okay.
So ampersands are nice if for social media or maybe a headline or a logo. But for written text, you're better off just using the plain old and.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. I think you're going to get the more bang for your buck there with the starting out with we can help, how we can help.
I will. Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Of course.
It looks like, Catherine, that Willie Brown also put his mission statement in the chat area too.
Good. Willie, you want to read this? Willie?
Tell you what, let me go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Good morning, and thanks, Ms. Scott, for
there.
being here. My
Of
mission
course.
statement reads, BBT's mission is to be a connecting bridge between our customers' requirements and their solutions, always bridged by effectiveness, efficiency, and good fiscal stewardship. Professionalism is the hallmark of BBT, not an occasional occurrence.
Okay. You know, I sort of like your ending. I think that should go first. And I would state it. Oh, wait a minute. Is this more of it? Willie, is this?
No, that's a separate, it looks like a separate,
Oh, can we go back to Willie again?
sure.
Yes, I'm with you, Ms. Scott.
No, I meant your mission statement. We got another one here.
Okay.
Charles, can you
Sure.
navigate?
I'll reread Willie's mission statement here.
Okay.
Well, were there any more comments to Willie's, or do you want to?
Yeah, no, I wanted to be specific. It would help if I had the exact language. If not, I can try to recreate it in my mind. But I would I would start with be very direct. Professionalism is our hallmark. It's not an occasional period. It's not an occasional thing, period. And then we do, you know, da, 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 right? I would sort of, for a, maybe Charles, this doesn't meet your criteria, but for really writing that's going to grab your attention, that's a very strong statement. And then you're specific what you provide. And again, just use the most forceful verbs that you can find. Is this so we're done with Willie now? Yeah.
Great, thanks, Ms. Scott.
Of course. And this is from Gabrielle. Gabrielle, can you read this out loud, please?
Hi, thank you. I am
Hi.
a holistic educator and healer who empowers young people and adults to excel in life from an embodied stance. An embodied stance is the foundation for good health, effective self-care skills, and a happy, oops, that's supposed to be happy and successful life, not effective, typo.
Okay, noted. The first thing I want here is I want to understand what an embodied stance means, because does that mean you're standing up straight, or what does it mean?
Yeah, thank you. This is the thing that I've been struggling with. An embodied stance is one where you are self-aware from a kinesthetic, which is body awareness sense. So in other words, well, I'm trained as a physical therapist and an Alexander teacher. I'm a movement specialist.
Okay.
So we can have cognitive strategies, which are all frontal cortex, as you were talking about at the beginning, that help us to maximize our potential or to move through space or to recover from an injury. But when we're doing that from a whole body place, we're actually going beyond the frontal cortex. So that as you're dealing with a stressful situation, you're self-aware and grounded in your body. This is the phrase that I've been struggling with, for sure.
You know, I think it might be useful in this case just to literally define the thing up front and say an embodied stance means your whole body is engaged in, or whatever you're going to define it, but define it in a clear way in language that people who aren't experts can understand. I'm, you know, I teach people how to, or, you know, then you go into your thing. I teach people how to achieve this kind of, you know, balance in life. I'm a holistic educator, blah, 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 right? I think that would be a lot clearer for people.
Okay, yeah, the thing that I struggle with is it is more about a balanced life. It's I would say it's an integrated one. How many sentences do you think are appropriate for a mission statement or a value proposition?
Charles, what would you say?
Because I'm trying to be succinct, right?
Yeah, I would say, especially if you're using it on different documents, such as a capability statement or others, you want to keep it as brief as possible. You may want to expand on it if it's in a different setting. Maybe it's on a wall plaque or something like that. You can expand on it. And you may even talk not only about what you provide to your customers, but how you address your employees, your vendors, and so on. That's where you expand that out. But I would say in the context of any writing that you have, say on your website, your capability statement, you want to keep it as brief as possible, no more than 2, maybe 3 sentences.
Thank you.
And as Katherine recommended, I think also it's important to, use a language that everyone understands, or where there are industry-specific language, defining it up front, and then going into the details of the value proposition.
You could also alternatively here, rather than stating it up front, you could say, I'm a holistic educator who works on an embodied stance, put that in quotation marks, and then immediately define. That means, blah, 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 right? So people just need to understand the language you're dealing with.
Yes, I'm sort of bringing something out into the world that's not readily understood. So my goal is actually to define it for the public, if you will.
Yeah.
Because it is a new concept to people, but it's an essential concept to people. Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, on your website, you could just have embodied stance and then like a box, right? With embodied stance and the definition underneath it, because that would
Great.
help people.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Katherine, we have another from Swandi. He
Okay.
has put it into the chat area there.
I don't, I still see Gabrielle's.
Okay, Swandi, could you read yours off?
Sure. RMTAP is a digital media entertainment company that creates, produces, and distributes high-quality digital content, primarily for and about people of color. RMTAP is based in Washington, D.C., and tells authentic stories of African-American life that defy stereotypes and presents unique characters in spaces generally ignored by Hollywood.
Okay. Thank you. That's very good and succinct. I think I might flip that first sentence and say something like high quality digital content, primarily for African American people, right? Something like that. I can't see it, so I'm just going off of memory, is what we do, right? Or what we offer.
It's above Gabrielle's
Oh, it is?
post. So if you scroll down, you'll see it.
Oh, I get it. Thank you, Charles. Again, I would start with high quality digital content. Then I would do an M dash, one of those long dashes, primarily for and about people of color. Long dash is what we do, and then go into we are a RMTAP is a digital media entertainment company, blah blah blah, that creates, produces, and distributes this content. We're based in Washington D.C. Does that help?
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, because then you get right to the point right away, and it's very compelling.
Katherine, can you bring up that previous slide that you had with the tips on it?
Sure.
And that way we can refer back to that if we have any others that.
1 second, I'm having trouble for some reason. If I put down the chat, then that's interesting. I don't know why it's not going back. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, we also have another one here that's further down on the chat area. It's from Robo. And Robo, would you like to unmute and talk about your mission statement?
Hello.
Hi, Robo.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Thrifty helps millennial women stay frugal and fashionable while being conscious of the environment by retailing curated, high-quality second-hand clothing online.
This is good. I think we might want to unpack this a little bit and sort of make it into 2 sentences. Something like, we care about fashion, but also the environment. Thrift It helps millennial women stay fashionable while, being environmentally conscious
Okay.
by retailing, curated, blah, blah. Okay, because you've got a lot going on in that sentence. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Robo, just out of curiosity, is your customer segment only millennial women?
Yes,
It
for
is?
now.
For now, okay.
Also, Robo, you might also, if you have more details about how you're conscious about the environment, you could put that in the second sentence.
Okay.
You could say while ensuring sustainable, that what are they called? Supply chain, something like that, or organically grown material, or whatever it is you do that's environmentally conscious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And perfect time. It looks like someone else just added their chat to the area. Mayor?
Yes, hi, and this is a first pass on it as I'm helping my company enter this new phase of
Okay.
their history. So JP2 is built on trust and reliability. We love to solve complex challenges while providing expertly managed high design architectural services that create places for people and communities to thrive.
Okay, can you give me a little more detail, just telling me what these architectural services are that you provide?
Master planning, interior design, base building, shells, a wide range of stuff.
Okay,
Mostly in mixed use.
mixed use residential or mixed residential commercial, you mean?
Yeah. Residential, commercial, retail is mixed use. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I think I would actually, in this case, because this is complex services, maybe go straight into that and say, well, actually, no, I would start with JP2 seeks to create places for people and communities to thrive, right? Because that's really nice. We provide expertly managed high design architectural services, including, and give a couple of those examples, in, or for mixed use residential commercial buildings. And we love to solve complex challenges. Let us solve your challenges, or something like that. Does that work?
Fantastic. Thank you for that feedback.
Of course.
Anyone else would like to share their mission statements? And it looks like Karen would like to, Mayor, she'd like to get your contact information. That's another good thing about our webinars. We encourage networking. There we go.
Oh, now I can get back to, sorry, now I finally got
There
back
we
to the
go.
good writing tips. Sorry, folks. I was trying to figure out how to do that.
No problem. So we still have some time, and if anybody else would like to share their mission statements, or if you have general questions about just writing in general, beyond just your mission statement, because I know, the challenge today is for small businesses, there's so many folks out there who are connected virtually. And so you definitely want to stand out from your competitors and from others in your industry. So, it's very important that you have a succinct and catching message.
I'll be happy to consider other pieces of writing you're interested in reworking. For example, your elevator pitch.
Yep.
Or your slogan, that kind of thing.
Loretta, it looks like you wanted to share something. Okay.
Who is this from?
This is Loretta. Hello.
Hi, Loretta. What are we reading here?
So this is my unique selling proposition
Oh, okay.
for a language school that I'm trying to set up.
Okay.
So I didn't give you my mission, but the USP will tell you more about it. So the USP is providing a premium language training experience with the latest blended learning technology, presenting a customized learning experience that benefits both companies and individuals, offering a fast-track teaching model to attain language proficiency.
Okay. I think my suggestion, and I see that you uppercase some of these words: premium language training experience, customized learning experience, etc. Unless these are like specific packages that people can link to, right, to go into like your website where you purchase them or something, I wouldn't put those in uppercase because it's distracting. Because I'm reading it going, why is this capital P? You know what I mean? It's not a proper name. So unless there's a specific reason to put it in uppercase, don't, because then people are left wondering why.
And as Catherine, it's interesting you mentioned that. I see various writings where people will do that and uppercase some things. And when I look at it too, I wonder, is that a intellectual property that's a proper name for an intellectual property or something?
I think also one of my pet peeves is people using gerunds, the form of the verb ending in ing. I would just say provide a premium language experience, present a customized. It's much more direct and active. Offer a fast track teaching model. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
So this phrasing can be used in a capability statement or in other website text.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it looks like Sandy has put her mission statement in there.
Yeah, I did. A very short and succinct one.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Yeah, I made it really short and succinct, Charles and Catherine, because there's a lot of stuff that I do, and I do all of this personally myself, but it's a lot. And I just, it's hard to distill it all down because some of it has to do with strategic planning, project management for people who are trying to get in to see an elected official, whether it's at the state or local or federal level. And I basically am really building upon relationships that I've had with through jobs that I've had either in local government or state government or the federal government for the past 30 years. So I've decided to, for lack of a better way to describe it, capitalize on it. I mean, I have access to all of these people. I know that folks at the grassroots level and even some trade associations and the like are constantly seeking an audience before these members, especially in these times. And so I thought, why not hang out my shingle and provide that access if I can?
Okay.
So that's why it's so general.
Are you, just an upfront question, are you a registered lobbyist?
No, I'm not a registered lobbyist because I do not spend, I think there's an hour limitation for how much time you actually spend with these elected officials. And because I'm personal friends with quite a few of them, I do not want to become a lobbyist. So I steer clear of reaching that threshold for now.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I would start here with something like advocacy matters for you and for us. And then I would say JTS Consulting gives clients access to lawmakers is one word. Or something like to the people who, or I would say more like legislators rather than lawmakers, because at first I thought you meant law, like the law.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little unclear. I would tease it out a little bit who you're providing access to members of state legislators, the federal government, just explain who it is, right?
Okay.
At every level, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe lawmakers, one word, at every level, and then spell it out who it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Sandy, also had a question too.
Mhm.
Your clients, are they in a specific industry?
Yeah. So for instance, I have one client, my biggest client, my first client, I should say, is in a very unique niche market. She is a woman-owned company that inspects and repairs pipelines. So right now she's based in the Midwest, but she'd like to expand nationally because she is a woman. She has no access to federal grants or federal contracts, I should say, because she doesn't have any contacts there. She's based primarily in Missouri, Illinois, and a little bit in Indiana, but the companies that she services are all oil companies. And all of these companies have pipelines that run throughout the country. And so she'd like to have access to broader markets. So part of my job for her is to gain an audience before members of Congress, specifically in this instance, but also state legislators in those various states. And so I do that by putting her before them in Zoom meetings.
Okay, so is that client and others that you have in a specific industry, or do they vary in industry?
They vary.
Okay.
They do, they vary.
The reason why I asked that is because if all of your clients are in a specific industry, that's something you would probably want to add to this mission statement. So that the reader knows, oh, well, I only work with oil industry, small business, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't want to limit it to just one industry, because having been a congressional staffer, I know that these members of Congress take meetings when they're in session 5 days a week from a variety of members of industries, from one thing to another. So I didn't want to limit it for that reason. I think the value that I provide is access, not value or information with respect to their industries, because they're the experts at that. They need to be in front of that member or that state senator or that governor in order to be able to make their case. I don't want to have to make their case for them. I tell them what talking points will work best for this particular member or that particular member because of whatever their personality or tics are. And, I gain that from experience and relationships with staff. But I try not to delve too deep into the subject matter because I'm not a subject matter expert. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Sandy, I think it might be helpful, though, just as we're starting out, just to say, add a third sentence, you're saying, we have worked in these industries, and just to, that doesn't mean you're exclusively working in those space, but it just establishes your credentials.
Okay.
And then you can add to the list, obviously, as you add industries. Yeah,
because I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm going to add that because what I was trying to do on my web page, I was going to tease it out a little bit more. Just in terms of explaining the legislative relations and all the other services that I can provide. One of the things, and I wasn't sure how to pull this in, but when I do get clients who are interested in my services, if I cannot provide what it is they need, then I refer them to a friend who does provide that particular service. And so what I've done was, for instance, there may be something where they need a team building service. They need someone to come in and organize their team because they want to go and lead a protest at the Supreme Court. Well, I don't do that per se, but I do have friends who do that. So I refer them over, but I also list them as a part of my team. You see what I'm saying? And they do the same for me. And that's how we kind of build business together. But I didn't, I wasn't sure I should have something like that in the mission statement, you know?
I wouldn't include it. Charles, what do you think?
If you could say that one more time.
Include the fact that she refers to other companies, clients who need services, other services.
What I call it is affiliate services.
Yes.
That belongs, I think, on your website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in your mission statement, because it's not what you do.
Right. Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because that gives me a broader wingspan. I just wasn't sure whether or not I should include something about that in the mission statement. And, you know, because it can be unwieldy. And I have a problem getting things down concisely. I'm way too wordy, as you can tell when I talk. I'm way too wordy. Yeah, so I will keep that limited to the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a related question about Charles, that maybe this is best for you to address, about whether it's in the mission statement, do we address the individual directly? You know, do we use you, or do we use we, like I help you or I help people? I like the you, I like the direct. What do you think, Charles?
I would say using you, or we help our clients or our customers, using that in that terminology.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that works a little bit better. Yeah. And also, you don't want to say I help, but you're presenting yourself as an organization, so it's we help. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and it looks like we have another mission statement from, is this Tanya?
Yep.
Tanya, what is this, your mission statement, or what are we looking at here?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's my mission statement. I was putting something together. I didn't have one at the beginning of this session, so I was writing and putting something together as everybody else was posting theirs.
Great. I'm glad we motivated you.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, you want to read this out loud?
Yeah, sure. It isn't over because you're over 50. Think outside the box will guide senior job applicants into the workforce with a virtual sales tool, the resume.
I like this. I like it. No, it's think is THYNK.
Yeah, well, I wanted it to be a little different. Think outside the box, because typically think THINK, but if you're thinking outside the box, you're going to spell that differently. So that was kind of the angle with that.
You know, in your logo, you might make that Y a different color.
Oh, I like that.
You know, make it, I'm not a designer, but you know, just thinking.
Yeah, but that's a good idea.
Here.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this a lot. I mean, you go right to the point, you're catchy. How about, rather than the future tense, think outside the box, guides.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like it a lot. I think you've got a great statement there.
Thank you.
And is it, just to clarify, that's what you do? You do resumes? Do you provide other services?
I'm thinking about jumping into some other services, but I've been helping people with resumes for many years. I'm a retired Department of Defense employee, and I would help the transitioning Marines and civilians who were looking for other opportunities. They would always give me their resumes to look at. But since I'm retired now, I'm noticing people in my age bracket say how difficult it is to get a job. I don't agree with that, because I've been working some type of job ever since. I'm a federal contractor today, but I'm looking to do something on my own.
Got it. Okay, you might, you might, just to sort of expand the possibility, say something like, with virtual sales tools, including your resume, including the resumes. And that way there's more
Okay.
You raise
Okay.
more possibilities if you happen to get inquiries about, you know,
Okay.
would you also
Okay.
do help with my LinkedIn profile, or you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yes. Thank
Sure.
you.
Or job interviews, like you could prep.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And having, being motivated, because so many of them, they just think it's so impossible. It's not. It's not.
No, I
It's
know.
a mindset.
I'm in that category too. I know.
And
Thank
also
you.
probably, and Catherine, please chime in on this. I think also, since you're talking about the resume as the focus of what you do,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even saying an effective resume, or a,
Okay.
Mhm.
you know, showing that you provide a value added with regard to the areas that you work in.
Right. Okay.
Or you could say a compelling resume.
A compelling, yeah, that's even,
Yeah.
Try to make it, jazz it up a little.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
let's see, not a catchy resume. You don't want that, but
Mm-hmm.
look up some, look in your thesaurus. This
Yeah.
thesaurus, everyone, is a great tool.
Okay.
See
Okay.
some interesting words you could find for,
Mm-hmm.
eye-catching, noteworthy, that kind
Right.
of thing.
Okay. To pull them in, because it's not over because you're 50 plus. It's not.
Right. You're trying to inject some jazz, right? So
Yeah.
you want a jazzy word here.
Okay.
and,
Gotcha.
and by the way, Tanya, it looks like Karen would like to get your information.
Okay.
I think Gabrielle has another question about Charles, about the mission statement.
Yeah, I'm not an organization. I'm the only person providing the service. I would say even if you're a person, you still want to represent the organization as in the form of we. There may be a time when you bring on additional staff or additional people, but still you're representing the organization. I would still use the term we. I don't see any other sharing. We still have a little bit more time if anybody would like to share their mission statement or other text
Or any general questions about writing
or
or
general
language.
questions. Yep. Well, I don't see anything else, Catherine. Did you want to talk a little bit about what you do and what you provide?
Sure. And once again, I'm having trouble moving the slides. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to close the chat to get to that. I'm not sure exactly why, but anyway, Best Writers and Editors provides a full range of, as the name implies, writing and editing services. This includes writing coach services, website copywriting. We're just getting into podcasting, and we would be delighted, here we go, to help some of you with personalized services. If you want to contact me, my contact information is listed on my website, which you see here. You can reach out to my schedule a no obligation call via my email address, or you're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. And I really appreciate everyone being here today. It's been a great pleasure to help you with your writing.
Great. Thank you, Catherine. And just to let everybody know again, we will provide the slide deck, or Catherine will provide the slide deck in the next day or so to everyone. If you have any questions for her, also, please, I encourage you to follow up with her. We are just about out of, well, we have a couple more minutes there, a few more minutes. So if you have any last minute questions, we can fit them in.
Is this something from G here? Community and connectiveness? I just saw something pop in.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks like we have, something from G.
G, can you unmute and talk with us?
Yes, hello everybody.
Hi,
Hello
G.
and happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yes, I was motivated to do my mission statement as well, or elevator pitch. I'm kind of new, just starting out. But the business is home sharing. and it's a consultant and matching service. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are losing even some of their living quarters, and people that are able to maintain their living quarters, and if they have extra room, may be able to come up with an agreement for maybe it's a room, or if it's an elderly person that needs extra help, it's a matching service to kind of become win-win and build a stronger community during this crisis time.
So it's basically renting out rooms in your house to people who need living quarters?
Yes, but I'd like to think that it was more of a, I guess, a connected understanding. It's not like, okay, this is so removed. It's with
Mhm.
the understanding, like I said, especially if it's an elderly person that may need, I don't know, help going up and down the steps, or something of that nature, but
Mhm.
they're not at a point where they need someone to constantly assist them.
Mm, mm,
Okay, interesting. That's this is
yeah.
this is a tricky one.
Oh.
I like the community and connectiveness part, but then you have to like be very careful about defining what this means.
Ah.
Um, we assist with people who have space in their house, who can, I assume there's money changes hands right here. This isn't just about doing this for free.
Yes, usually it would be, because say if there's someone, unfortunately, that may be, heaven forbid, facing eviction,
Right,
um,
right,
and they really don't want to be on the street, but say there's maybe an elderly couple down the street that has an extra room, and they wouldn't mind becoming partners to help each other, if you will. Say the person needs a space to stay for 3
right.
months, 6 months, maybe even a year. And of course, the elderly couple may need,
Yeah.
say, snow removal, because we're coming into the winter season,
Oh, I
snow
see.
removal, or
I see.
even putting up lights. Of course, there would be money exchanging hands, because if they're elderly, more than likely, I'm assuming, and hopefully not out of out of context, but I'm assuming that they probably have a small fixed income or something like that.
Yeah.
So the extra money probably would help. So it's kind of like win, win, win. And it becomes almost like um a alternate family, so to speak.
hmm Yeah, this is a little tricky. I like the community and connectedness, something like whatever the name of your then company name, um, finds matches for people who need temporary lodging and other people who need services, and can accommodate temporary boarders or something like that, you know. Um, I Charles, what do you think? I don't
Yeah, I
I don't
think the
want to go
language
into
has to
details.
be a
I
little
don't
bit
think you
more
should.
direct.
You
Yeah,
want
the
to be,
language has to be a little bit more direct in terms of what the quid pro quo is in this case.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So I would have to say, I guess, money and services. But if there's someone I'm thinking that's probably short on money because they're probably looking to move, probably putting things in storage, so on and so forth. Um, okay, but figure out the language of the quid pro quo.
Yeah. And
Well,
in
you
this
need to
case,
be.
I think it's more than one sentence. It might be up to say 3 sentences even.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's complicated, so you're
It's
going to need to.
complicated.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome. You're welcome.
And it looks like Latrell has a something she'd like to share.
Oh, this is
A little bit
the
further down in the
promoting love and wisdom childcare. This one.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Latrell.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm just getting on. I was having some difficulties. But how you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you. Why don't you read is this your mission statement?
Yes, ma'am. Go to the chat. Okay, I said it was established in June 25, 2012. The name of the daycare is Promoting Love and Wisdom Home Child Care Center, LLC. Doing business as PLWHCC. We implemented PUSH and 2 years ago was a summer STEM program for summer camp. We offer services which are vitally important to enhance all children's knowledge by exploring their ideas, promoting creativity, innovation, and encouraging new perspective. We are 23 hours of service. We provide before and after care. We are now moving into pivoting because of COVID-19, doing childcare services to procurement opportunities. So we're in the process of.
What do you mean by procurement opportunities? Latrell? Latrell, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Sorry, I don't understand how the child care is a procurement opportunity.
So basically, if there's an event or a conference at a location, we'll be able to provide service at those locations if they're having a conference or a meeting.
Okay.
A lot of times with the procurement, we may have an agency, for instance, like OSSI. I had a proposal where they were servicing an event at the convention center for the whole DC area. So they wanted me to provide childcare services for the families while the parents was in a meeting with OSSI.
Okay.
So that's the procurement opportunities that we provide too.
Okay, you'll have to spell that out because that's not clear to people who aren't in the business.
Okay.
I would say something very simple here, because your name is very nice. And so you would just start with Promoting Love and Wisdom Childcare, offer services, at our location and your location if you need services for an event, something like that, right?
Okay.
And then we established in 2012, we enhance children's knowledge by exploring their ideas, promoting creativity, etc. Okay.
Okay. Will you have your information so I can reach out to you?
It's on the screen right now.
On the screen right now. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Karen Parker, 88.
No, not in the chat. It's on the slide.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Looks like we're a little bit over time. What I would encourage anyone who's still on the webinar to follow up with Katherine. Her contact information is there. She'll also be following up with you by providing a copy of the slides, and she's available for a variety of services we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Whether it be your website or other text.
Great. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for attending.
Thanks, everyone. We have some other webinars that are coming up. Encourage you to check those out. And of course, Katherine, we're going to definitely have you back after the new year. We'll have you back and to offer more and additional tips on writing.
I look forward.
Yep. Everybody stay safe and have a great holiday season. Take care.